Hello, Raffrey Stone here. And today I'm going to try to keep myself from getting on a soapbox. But I just want to talk a little bit about something that I've been thinking about. And this is actually part of a challenge that I've been issued for Light the World 2019. But so thinking about Christ-like examples, okay? I was just thinking about, I don't know why, but I woke up this morning thinking about how I didn't realize it was an example of Christ, but how when people have evil spirits in them and those spirits are cast out, there was a particular story in the Bible where Jesus Christ casts out this evil spirit and he puts it in a pig. And for some reason I was thinking of this in my head this morning, and I couldn't put it together that it was a Bible story. But this thought of just casting out evil and this swine was just in my head, and I was like, what is this? Anyway, so I'm like looking at it, I'm like journaling about it this morning. I'm looking it up, and I'm like, oh, there's 3 different scriptures. It's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, I believe. There's 3 different places in the Bible where it talks about this story. And I'm like, oh, there's got to be something to this. Anyway, let's connect this a little bit later maybe. So my husband sends me this message or this link to this article, and it's about the AMA Awards that just happened. And it's all about these young people who are, what are they doing? They're presenting their talents, right? So they're on stage and they're performing in front of who knows how many people, and expressing themselves through music and dance. That's to put it nicely. And so I'm reading this article, and it's talking about some of the lyrics and some of the actual physical actions that are happening on the stage. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness. And it basically, to me, what it sounds like to me is that it is in direct opposition, even mockery of God. And I thought, oh my goodness, what is this world coming to? I mean, we know what the world's coming to, right? An end. But, wow. It's just the things that people are willing to do. But it got me to thinking about this challenge. So the challenge for today is to think of someone who was a Christ-like example and to basically call them out on their example. So I was thinking about these celebrities and their example, and how they put themselves out there in this award ceremony and as entertainment. I got to thinking a little bit about Kanye West. So there's been this it's kind of like this bit, what is it called? Like a debate or some kind of what do you call it when it's a big thing? You guys, I'm losing my words. But it's been this thing that people are like, well, is he really a Christian? Is he really promoting the truth and the gospel, or is this a publicity stunt, or what is it? All these things. And the thought that comes to mind is, by their fruits you shall know them. And that's across the board a good litmus test for just about anything. So let's think about the example of Christ, right? What are some of the things that he did? He fed the hungry, he clothed the naked, he healed the sick, he comforted the lonely, he healed the dead, he did all these wonderful acts of service. He made people feel special. He made people feel important. He made people feel like there was hope for them in this world. That was his service rendered through his time on the earth. And so I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, if we're talking about these people who, and I don't know all these artists, right? I don't know who they are. I saw the names, but I'm not familiar with any of them, right? But we see what they have done, their physical manifestation of whatever it is that they believe or that they're putting out there into the world. What is the fruit of that labor? What is the fruit? So it's worldly entertainment. What else is it? So then let's look at Kanye West, right? And again, I'm not judging him as good or bad, but I'm thinking about this. Well, what are the fruits? And judging that. So if he is visiting people who are imprisoned and making them feel hope for what they can have in life, or that, it's not the end of the world, any form of hope and goodness. That fruit is good fruit. If you've got people on stage and they're like presenting this public orgy, for lack of a better word, is what it sounds like, what fruit is that? I mean, is that good fruit? Doesn't sound like it to me. So I guess the thing is to think about what we really want to put out into the world. What kind of example do you want to be? I mean, can you imagine, 30, 40 years from now, your grandchildren looking back at you and seeing all the things that you put out into the world, especially if you are a celebrity. You're putting out all these things into the world, and your grandkids or even your children come back and they look and they see what you've done. What is the fruit of that labor? Maybe now it's all good and entertainment. Maybe now it's like funny or cute or sexy or whatever, but like in the long run, like what is the true fruit of the labor? Is it creating beauty? Is it proclaiming goodness? Is it, and I, from what I understand, like these lyrics were like specifically degrading God and his goodness and his righteousness, like, by their fruits you shall know them. So let's talk about people whose fruits are good. I don't know what has happened as a result of the things that Kanye West has done. I don't know. But what it looks like, just from where I stand and not even, investigating very much into it, it looks like he's reaching out to people who need help. That's service. And that's the kind of thing that we want to see and be in this world. That's the kind of person that Christ was. That light of Christ is in each and every one of us. And when we shine our lights, we are doing good deeds. We are doing as he did. We are being a good example. Our fruits are good and sweet and, man. So I was starting to think about, people in my life, even over the course of my life, people in my life who have done good and who have served, and I got to thinking that service is not always necessarily just, helping me move, or, doing something for me when I couldn't have done it myself, cleaning my house. It's all those things, right? But service is also that hope and love within that comes out, and then it sparks something in another person. That light of Christ within us, that sparks that same light within someone else. Like when you're teaching someone. A couple videos ago, actually it was my last video, because, okay, I gotta talk about Thanksgiving in a minute. I talked about AmeriCorps service and how, what it's all about. Getting things done, and that fruit of the labor is actually helping people. As part of AmeriCorps, my main service was going into the inner city school in St. Louis and like helping these kindergartners learn the alphabet, learn their sounds, speak some word, sound out words, like it was a little thing, but it gave them a little bit of hope and excitement about life. And that's the kind of thing that I think is really what we're looking for when we talk about fruits. So a specific person in my life, I was just thinking about the example of a woman. She bore her testimony in church yesterday, and she was talking about the angels in her life. She had been through a situation where I don't know if that was caught. She had been in a situation where her body completely malfunctioned, and she had to start all over when her life turned around. It literally, like when she survived, as she was surviving, she had to start all over. So And she was talking about these other people in her life who have done things to help her to keep moving forward, literally, like literally walking and getting her muscles back in shape. Something she hadn't done in a while and wasn't able to do for a while because of what her body went through. And I was just sitting there thinking about that and thinking about her and her looking at other people and thanking them for for their example. But I thought, I'm looking at this woman, I'm like, what an example you are. What an example of hope and perseverance and striving and goodness and humility and love and appreciation and respect and all these things, So it's reciprocal in a lot of ways. So she expressed her gratitude and appreciation for others and their service to her, but this woman was leading a group of women in our congregation, and she was reaching out to them, and she was loving on them, and she was being Christ-like. And so it speaks volumes to see someone who has done so much appreciate and show love for people who have reciprocated. And that's really what it's all about. What can you reciprocate to someone who is throwing out their hate and degrading anybody, namely God, but anybody? What can be reciprocated out of that? Where's the love? Where's the goodness? Where's the compassion, the kindness, the feel good? That's good for all ages. Okay? But the whole point is, there are examples of Christ-like service in the world today. And by the fruits of these people, we shall know them. And we can be those people. We can be examples of Christ-like love. We can reach out to people. We can send a message and say, just thinking about you. We can, offer some of our time to go. And I was just thinking about, I got an email today from, I think, what is it called? Hollis Center, I think, in Overland Park. And last year, was it last year? Maybe it was this past summer. The kids and I think it was all the kids, at least 5 of the kids. And I went up there and we helped sort out Legos. I guess they repackage, they clean and repackage Legos, used Legos for kids, and give them as gifts. And so we went up there and we just did that, and it was fun and it was exciting. And but anyway, just the little things. There's so many little things that we can do to show love to others and to serve other people. You've probably heard of just a smile. If people are walking around with heaviness in their mind and in their heart, and they're feeling like a lack. They're feeling a lack of love. I don't know. This thing keeps cutting in and out. What does it do to them to receive a smile from someone? I know there have been times, I had to apologize to one of the kids last week because I had this stank look on my face, and I was pulling out of the driveway or pulling out of the parking lot, leaving. And I remember connecting that look on my face, whatever it looked like, to this person who was like, bye. And just kind of I could tell that the impression or the effect, the effect that the look on my face had on the person was not good. And I had to apologize for that, and it's that much of an impact just to smile or just to say a kind word, and that doesn't mean we have to be buddy with everybody. That doesn't mean we have to pretend that we like people, but we can love people without liking them. We can respect people. I was watching this video today. I'm sure many of you have seen it, but it's the one about the Navy SEAL. I think it was the Navy SEAL who was giving a speech. I think it was a graduation speech, and he was talking about, changing the world. And he was saying how, to change the world, start by making your bed. It basically start by checking one thing off your list. Start by accomplishing one thing. and that thing becomes successive. And he talked about it spiraled into way more than that. Finding someone that you can look up to, that can serve you, that you can serve. What did he say? There was a couple other things. I actually wrote them down. But there's so many ways that we can serve other people. And I challenge you today to find a way to serve someone. Maybe in a small little way, but by small and simple things, great things come to pass. That's a scripture. And it's true. It's so true. And I just to put this out there, be looking out for a small and simple thing that I'm putting out into the world to help people to bring to pass great things in their life and in the lives of others. Because guess what? That's where we start. We're all stressed out, especially now. It's the holidays, y'all. Come on. There's so much going on. There's drama in the family. There's all kinds of things going on. But there's little things that we can do, which is what I just want to address that really quickly. On Thanksgiving, I did a video kind of walking you through like my morning, like getting ready. I was doing my face. I was washing my face and I was doing my makeup, and I was just kind of talking about family drama that I was like kind of trying to work through and release through some self-care so that I could show up and be present with energy to give. That's a simple thing. That is such a simple thing that we can do, and it's a win-win, right? It's a win for ourselves. It's a win for the people that come into contact with us, and it's also a win for the greater good. So I challenge you to do that. Maybe comment below something that someone has done that's been a small but impactful thing to serve you, or something that you've done for someone else that was a small but simple act that impacted them, and maybe you didn't know till later in life. Maybe you didn't know, but maybe you felt it. But yeah, share that below. And with that, I will say see you next time.